Hey, what's up everyone? It's Crystal Clear 101 here. Well, I have the votes in. I did some polling not just here on YouTube, I also did on Facebook and on Doodle Plus, and the votes were unanimous. You guys want to see a review of the Aliens Micro Machines collection number 3. Okay, so first off, here is the front of the packaging. Here is the back of the packaging. Now, before I go any further, let me go ahead and read what it says back here for collection number 3. If I can focus in. There we go. Alien Queen, giant egg-laying parasitic life form, armored personnel carrier, ground assault vehicle. Hicks, the only Marine to survive the second aliens encounter. That's actually fairly accurate if you don't include Bishop. And the Derelict Ship, wrecked spacecraft found on LV-426. Alright, now, upon with that being said, let me go ahead and carefully cut this open because I do want to keep this card. And I will be right back with a review of the set here. I'll be back in just a sec. Alright, here is the set in its entirety right here. Now, I'm going to break up this review into 3 parts. First off, I'm going to start off with the vehicles. Then I'm going to start off with the little minifigures. And then I will review the set as a whole. With that being said, let's start with the vehicles. Let's start off with the signature Derelict Ship. Alright, here's the first vehicle of the set. Here is the Derelict Ship. Now, if you're not familiar with the Alien franchise, you see the ship in the original Alien, and you do see this in Aliens. However, you only see it in the special edition of Aliens, and in case you haven't seen it, the special edition is superior to the original theatrical version. The original theatrical version was a masterpiece. But first off, this Derelict Ship is approximately 2 inches long, maybe 1.5 inches wide, and from the bottom to the top of the ship, maybe at most 1/2 inch. So it's not a very big ship. And the neat thing is, it does come with a little removable display stand. As you can see, it's just a piece of transparent plastic. And even as small as this little Derelict Ship is, it's very, very nicely detailed for a little miniature. But if you're a fan of Alien or Aliens, in my personal opinion, this is probably one of the ships to have, you know, if you're going for an Alien collection. My only complaint is that you have to have a ship a certain way on the stand, otherwise it will not stand. But with that being said, let's move on from the Derelict Ship. Let's move on to the Colonial Marine Apc. The second and final vehicle of the set is the APC, or as it's known in the Colonial Marine technical manual, it's the M577 Armored Personnel Carrier. But what's interesting to note about this one right here is, unlike the Derelict, the vehicle itself is actually die-cast. The Derelict Ship is plastic. Now, the main body of this is die-cast. Now, the turret, the wheels, the front turret right up here, and that's pretty much it. Those parts right there are plastic. Now, what's interesting to note is that you can swivel the turret. You can swing it from all the way from this side to inside or right in here, and the main gun right back here, it can swivel a full 360 degrees. And not only that, just like in the movie, it can go to the side, and it can fold down for storage. That is just sweet. And on top of that, you can roll the vehicle with absolutely no issues. Now, this, to me, is probably one of the main reasons to get collection number 3 if you can find it. But this, for me, alone was worth getting the set. Now, with that being said, let's move from the APC. Let's move on to the 2 figures. Let's start off with the trooper who would have gone with this. Let's go with Corporal Hicks. And here is the Corporal Hicks minifigure right here. Now, first off, let me go ahead and say, you really can't see any decent facial details. I mean, this is a figure out in 1996, but aside from that, they did a very good job on sculpting the basic look of the standard Colonial Marine. I mean, he does have the M41A pulse rifle in his right hand. You can make out other little details, namely, you can make out his body armor, you can make out his little combat vest, the helmet, the shoulder torch, even right down to the little flap that goes behind the helmet. But, I mean, aside from that, they actually did a very decent job on capturing the likeness of your standard Colonial Marine. And considering this is an older figure, his only articulation are swivel arms and swivel hips. And the arms, I'm going to tell you, are one solid piece. They're not individual, they're just one solid piece. But, I mean, if you can find this one reasonably priced, I mean, I wouldn't hesitate picking up a few of these. They make for decent little army builders, especially if you like Colonial Marines. Now, let's go from this to the other main reason you'd want this set. Let's go ahead and look at the Alien Queen. And here is the second and final minifigure, is the Xenomorph Queen. And let me go ahead and tell you, she looks fantastic. Now, they did a very, very good job on capturing the likeness of the Xenomorph Queen. I mean, for what they were able to do in 1996, they did a damn good job on this figure. Now, just like with the Colonial Marine, the articulation are swivel arms and swivel hips. But, even with that, this is a very impressive little display figure. Even with her crouched over like this, she stands at over 1 inch tall. Now, just for a little size comparison, here is the hits. As you can see, even with the crown, especially with the crown, she towers over hits. But, I mean, this is just a very, very nicely detailed little queen. Alright, with that being said, let me go ahead and break out all 4, and I'll review the set as a whole. Hold on one moment. Alright, now here is the set as a whole, and what's my personal verdict on this little set? If you can find any of these, I would not hesitate to snag them. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, I got lucky and found mine on eBay, carded, reasonably cheap. And by reasonably cheap, I mean I paid $11 for this set. Now, I've seen just the Derelict Ship by itself go for 10. I've seen the APC itself go for upwards of 20 to 25, 15 for the Queen. I don't know about hits. But, in my opinion, if you are a big Aliens fan, these are well worth adding to any collection. I mean, this is going to be your easiest way of getting an APC. So definitely going to be your easiest way of getting a Derelict Ship. But if you can find any one of these little figures or vehicles, if you can find this set complete, do not hesitate to snag this. This is well worth adding to any Aliens collection. I know I'm certainly happy with it. But that's going to wrap up my review on the Aliens Micro Machines collection number 3 by Galoob. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.